What is this world coming to? Dogs on cocaine?
Shocking.
Next on Men Are So Smart. Welcome to another edition of Men Are So Smart. A dozen greyhound racing dogs have tested positive for cocaine in Florida, and their trainer has had his license suspended, and I understand the dogs are now going through a 12-paw process.
I knew there was a reason them dogs were so skinny.
Yeah. Documents from the State Department of Business and Professional Regulation say that the trainer is a threat to animals in his control, custody, and care. A formal hearing for the case is scheduled next month.
So Florida is home to 12 of the 19 greyhound racing tracks in the country, as 40 other states have banned the sport completely. The tracks have come under scrutiny for the treatment of the dogs. The Daily Mail states that this is the second instance of dogs testing positive for cocaine just this year. And there have been 62 positive cocaine tests since 2008.
Okay.
Dang.
Something isn't going on that's right here.
These are like the Doc Goodens of the dogs right here. Could be Dog Gooden.
The executive director of Grey 2K USA in Boston, which is a track monitoring group that opposes greyhound racing, according to them, besides the obvious conclusion that someone is trying to rig races, it's also possible that the trainer is himself doing the drugs and the dogs are just coming into contact with him that way.
Notably, one of the dogs tested positive 6 times and finished first once, but also had the drug in its system for 2 of its better races.
Well, I'm not sure what to say about that.
Yeah. Coincidence?
You be the judge.
I think not.
So we got dogs on cocaine, which leads us to our next story today.
This is a good follow-up.
Quarterbacks on cocaine who are making a comeback. That's right. Former LA Raiders quarterback Todd Marinovich is returning to play football at the age of 48.
Former Los Angeles Raiders quarterback is returning to football. He played his college football at USC, but before he was drafted in the first round of the '91 draft by the Raiders.
He claims he was a product of an abusive household who trained him to become an NFL quarterback since the day he was born. Unfortunately, the immense pressure seemed to finally catch up to him as he turned to drug use.
And if you remember, you may or may not, and it's been a while back, but I remember pretty vividly, he had never had a candy bar or processed sugar or a Coke in his whole life. So definitely when he kind of got out on his own a little bit and away from mom and dad, he strayed from the pack ever so slightly.
Slightly, yeah.
During his last year at USC, he was arrested for cocaine possession, and yet he still decided to enter the draft.
Good thinking.
Yeah, once he got into the league, he played in a few games, but his drug addiction took over his life and pushed him out of the NFL rather quickly.
Now, Marinovich believes he actually recovered from his addiction after he was arrested last year walking naked around somebody's backyard.
Oh, was that him?
Yeah.
I wondered who that was.
He has tried to rehabilitate himself before, but he believes he finally made a lifestyle change that will keep him sober.
And with his personal life being in better standing, he can focus on his return to the game of football. Marinovich is set to be part of the SoCal Coyotes developmental football team, who have their first practice August 10th, coming right up. Hopefully, Marinovich has recovered from his addiction and can begin to show what kind of player he could have been if drugs didn't force his life to go sideways. And you know, I remember him in college. He was, they called him Robo quarterback. He was perfect. He was amazing. And then, you know.
And then the years happened. And then he's 48 years old now.
Yeah.
And he's going to be playing football?
Yeah. Well, look at Vince Carter. The Kings just picked him up. He's 40 years old, which is ancient by NBA standards. But the guy can still shoot. He can still dribble. Probably not going to be dunking a whole lot, but he's great influence for the younger players. So, hey, age maybe is okay.
Time for thinning the herd. A Florida man accidentally shot himself in the Charlie when he sat down on a gun in the driver's seat of his car. Several television news stations report that the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says the man ran into his girlfriend's house Friday after the gun discharged. She saw that he had a wound in his groin and took him to the hospital where he underwent microsurgery.
The sheriff's office said the 38-year-old man had a previous conviction for cocaine possession and may now face charges of being a felon in possession of a firearm and shooting Little Richard.
I told you to call it Charlie.
Charlie.
You Charlie head. Police in suburban Detroit can skip barbershops as they search for a man who stole a hair growth product. The guy's bald, so that kind of narrows down.
Yeah. Yeah. Your suspect field is like shrunk pretty dramatically.
Yeah.
Dearborn police have security video of a bald man who is suspected of stealing Rogaine from a Walgreens store on June 22nd. Investigators say the man put 7 boxes in a bag and dashed. He was wearing a shirt that said Air Force Dad, and Police Chief Ron Haddad said, not the most hair-raising crime, but he wants the public's help. Police said the bald man could strike again because it takes many months of consistent use of Rogaine to get some results.
And speaking of hair-raising crime, a Pennsylvania woman with a history of stealing meals and services has allegedly struck again, this time at a hair salon. That's right. Bethlehem Township police say 46-year-old Tia Hassler went to the Intrigued Salon on Sunday and had more than $100 worth of highlights put in her hair, only to claim at the end she had no money to pay for the services.
Salon workers told police Hassler knew the price before they did the work and gave no indication that she wasn't going to be able to pay. Hassler remained in the Northampton County Jail Wednesday without an attorney listed in the online court documents. Those records show numerous theft of services cases against her dating back to 2009. That's when she first was charged with running up a tab for meals and drinks and refusing to pay for them.
You know what all these stories make me think?
Yeah.
You ever notice they don't have any shows called Crooks or Smart?
Yeah. Did you ever notice?
No, they're not.
No.
They're not very smart.
No.
All right, so there you go. Get your hair done. Make sure you have enough money.
Get your hair did.
Try to get back into playing football at the age of 48. Steal some Rogaine.
Yep.
And then get some cocaine for your dog. And that's pretty much a full day.
Yeah.
We do that before 9 o'clock, before most people do things by noon.
Boom.
That's how we are here. All right, this has been another edition of Men Are So Smart. Hope you've enjoyed. I'm Lou Gallagher.
I am Corvette.ronnie.
You are indeed, and we'll see you next time on Men Are So Smart.